Hi, it's Angie from Sunnyside Up Living Vlog, and today I'm sharing my recipe for small batch strawberry rhubarb jam made with no pectin. Let's get cracking. For this strawberry rhubarb jam recipe, I wanted to go over a couple things that you are going to need. I don't have a specific canning pot yet, so right now I have been using a stock pot. I've actually used this for quite a while, and I feel like it works just fine. So if you don't really want to make an extra investment, then you can just definitely use what you have. The important thing is when you're making the jam, the water has to come over the top, at least an inch, maybe even 2 inches above the top of your jar. That's very important. The other thing you're going to need to put inside your stock pot or your larger pan is some kind of rack. What I use is just the round rack that came with my Instant Pot. And if you don't have a round rack like this, in the show description, then I am going to put some links of another blog where they show you how to make some of your own with some hacks. I thought that was actually interesting and kind of fun to read. Within that link, some of the hacks that they talk about is how to make your own DIY rack with actually some foil, how to make your own contraption like this, which is like a modified funnel that you just put on the top of your jam jars, and then that helps create less of a mess, and it makes it really easy to pour that hot jam in there without burning yourself. They actually used a red Solo cup, believe it or not, that they cut and they used, and it worked out perfectly fine. And then you'll need something to lift the hot jam jars out of your pot. I have a grabber like this. However, again, in that link, they show you a couple hacks that you can do just with something as simple as a salad tongue and some rubber bands. Now, as far as the pectin versus no pectin debate, there are a couple reasons why you may want to avoid pectin. Pectin prohibits your body from absorbing beta carotene, and if you're on certain heart medications, you're supposed to avoid pectin. That being said, unless you eat a lot of jam, there's not really anything to worry about. The pro of using pectin is that you do not have to cook your jam nearly as long, just a couple minutes, versus going without pectin. You are going to need to cook that jam for 45 minutes to sometimes even an hour. And there's also another con to that, meaning that the more that you cook your jam, the less you're going to have of it, because it just starts boiling down and condensing into less and less jam. So to give you an idea, I used 5 cups of cut rhubarb that was maybe like a ½ inch to an inch long, and 2 cups of strawberries, and 2 additional 2¼ cups of sugar, and that only gave me about 3 2/3 of these. So I canned 3 jars. I kept the rest in the 4th jam jar, and then I just put that in my refrigerator. I didn't bother canning it. It didn't make any sense. But I can still enjoy it right now, and it will last in my refrigerator for about 2 weeks. Even though I'm doing a no pectin version with this particular jam recipe, when it comes time later in the year, I will definitely be using pectin, and I don't have any reservations about using pectin. It all depends on how much time you want to spend. If you cannot tolerate pectin in your food, then of course you're going to have to go through the longer version and just understand that you're going to use a lot more fruit and you'll end up with a smaller yield. All right, let's get going on this recipe.
In a large saucepan, add 5 cups of rhubarb cut to a ½ inch dice. Next, add 2 cups of whole homegrown strawberries cut in half, followed by 2 1/4 cups of granulated sugar. Finally, stir in 1 tablespoon of bottled or fresh lemon juice. This helps the jam to gel. Stir the ingredients in the saucepan so the fruit is evenly covered with the sugar. Bring the saucepan of your jam mixture to a low boil over medium heat, and then reduce the heat to low. Here's what the mixture looks like after 15 minutes. The fruit is starting to liquefy, but it's still really runny. At 30 minutes, the fruit is really starting to break down. At 50 minutes, this jam is starting to thicken and gel. Remove your jam from the heat and funnel it into your clean and sterilized jam jars. Wipe any jam drips from your jars and carefully put a lid and band on each jar and gently tighten. Don't twist the band on too tightly. Using your jar lifter or tongs, carefully submerge your jam jars into your pot of boiling water and then put the lid on the pot and set your timer for 10 minutes. When the timer goes off, use a jar lifter to carefully remove the jars from the stock pot to a clean towel to cool. You'll hear a popping sound as the jars cool, indicating that the jars are sealed. Let the jars cool for a full 24 hours before storing them for up to a year. Enjoy your delicious, no pectin strawberry rhubarb jam.
That's it for today. For more simple, delicious recipes like this one, hit subscribe.